So you found that unconditional love that you had within the family was a basis for all of your relations with other people, the whole way you lived your life?
Yes, it wasn't really until I started going to school, um, sort of like bigger school now, that when I was in the sort of juniors, it was very much a play and the school I went to was incredibly creative. Um, it was a very arty school, and they just allowed sort of the children. They really sort of got the children to just express their creativity, and all the teachers were really good. Um, they they never seemed to single anyone out. And that's what I really remember from my primary school. I really enjoyed my primary school experience. Um, Although I did fail my 11 plus. And so I ended up having to go to a school. The next school I went to was, I went there and there was only 2 people there I knew, um, which for me was sort of fine, a little bit scary, but it was fine. And it was there really that I sort of then sort of began to sort of notice that things weren't quite right. That I went to a private school, I had private education. It was actually a convent school with nuns. A lot of the families that were there, the children that were there, came from very rich backgrounds. And I actually noticed a lot of the children, my friends, very unhappy. They were very unhappy at home. And I found that a bit confusing because I thought everybody had the same upbringing as I did. So that took many years to sort of really grasp that actually not everybody lives the same way I do or has been brought up in the same way.
So did you find that began to motivate you to encourage others to live with unconditional love, to find unconditional love, but you were finding that you were giving people unconditional love, and that sort of set the tone really for everything that came after that?
Well, it was interesting because, again, I didn't understand sort of conditional love because I'd not really experienced that from my family. When I started to make sort of friends at school, um, and, the friends that I met, they say like attracts like, and when I look back, I attract all the mad and crazy people, which was fantastic because they were all lovely. Well, we used to have fun and a laugh all the time because, as I said, it wasn't academic because it wasn't until later on in life I found out I've got a learning difficulty. But at this time, I just enjoyed myself. I mean, at the same time, probably appeared to a lot of people that I rebelled. And it wasn't a case of rebelling, it was just I had problems with reading and writing. But because and obviously explaining myself verbally, I used to have real big problems with that. But so it wasn't a question of I can do it, but I'm not going to. It was a question that I actually couldn't do it. But because that wasn't picked up on, teachers because of quite a few reasons. One, because I wasn't naturally an academic, so they tend not to focus on me. I mean, probably about second, third year into my senior school, I was left out of a lot of things. The teachers actually missed me out because they just knew I wouldn't be able to answer anything. And also another reason why I was missed out at school was because my parents weren't extremely rich. They were just sort of comfortably rich, could just afford to send me to the private school. So the other children that did have parents that could afford them to be there, and then some, tend to be focused on more. So I was just left to be who I was. And what I found was all of my friends that I made in that time, they've all said to me at one point or another, I love being around you because you bring something out in me that I've never sort of realised I've had. Because I've just always allowed my friends to be themselves. You know, I've had a little bit of sometimes a misunderstanding, but it's always been cleared with my friends. This was back then. And so yes, unconditional love, as I've said, it's a part of who I am, and I've consciously known it all my life. It wasn't till probably a bit later on in life that I sort of recognised it to be that, but I knew it was a different kind of love to the love that I've seen outside of my family circle. It's almost like there's always been two ways of experiencing it. So, yeah, so that's the best way I can sort of describe that.